What's good? What's good? So today, coming back with another video. This is not going to be anything crazy. I've been doing a lot of debating about what kind of videos I'd like to make on this channel, and really, I'm just going to be documenting my own journey. I didn't want to brand myself as any sort of like guru or be trying to give you guys the best ad strategy, this and that. So I kind of decided that I'm just going to be making videos based on my journey for now, just documenting the entire process. And I think it's going to be an interesting series that we're going to be doing here. We're going to be doing like a road to 1 million. I kind of copied my friend Julian Tishoni. So shout out to him. He's been doing a series like this for a while, and I like what he's doing with it. I kind of want to do something like it myself. So we're going to do a road to 1 million, and I'm just going to take you guys on the journey with me, show you guys what I'm doing here, how things are going, explain the situation, what moves I'm going to be making. And I think that you guys should be able to pick up value from this, probably more value from this than you would get by me just making videos talking about ads or ad strategies and stuff like that. You guys can really take a step in here, take a step in the journey with me, and find out what this is all about. So, anyways, yeah, that we're going to be doing a road to 1 million series. The goal is going to be to build at least one store to $1 million in rev. And like I said, it's a good time right now because if you watched my last video, you know that a previous product I was running had actually died recently. Well, it didn't die. I killed it. I shouldn't say die. That's a bad way to frame it because the product did not die. I just made some mistakes that ended up making me have to kill the product. So that was the situation there, and now we are testing new products. So I'm currently testing two products, and just to give you a little insight about how I found the products before I go and like show you guys some metrics and explain the current situation. Basically, I just have taken a little bit of my previous experience with the last product and mixed it with some of my previous knowledge. And essentially, this time, like you guys know, the previous product, I ended up having to kill it because the quality was bad. So, for these ones specifically, I made sure that I'm selling products in niches that are like, I don't want to say guaranteed good quality, but what I've found is that there are certain niches of products that come from China that tend to have better quality than others. And so I'll give you guys a little hint. I'm not going to say anything that's going to expose my products too much, but one of the products I'm running two products. One of the products I'm running is a makeup product, and I've found that a lot of makeup from China actually tends to have good quality. So, and obviously, I know that it's a big market. There's been tons of makeup products that have scaled in the past. So, I decided that I'm going to use one store to stick to a makeup niche for now and see if I can find a winner within that niche. And then, so that's one of my stores. And then, what's interesting about the other store, like I told you guys in the last video, there's only two ways that you can do product research or find a product to sell. You either find a product and then you find the market to sell it to, or you find a market to sell to and then you find a product to sell to them. And so, what's interesting about the other store is, as you guys know from the last video, I was telling you guys how I had a product that I was selling to women with the condition PCOS, and I was solving a specific issue for them. And so, what I've done now, and it's not the exact same issue that I'm solving, but since I knew that PCOS was a big pain point or a big condition that I could target, I've actually found a different product that's got better quality that I am currently testing and going to see how that goes. So, both stores are a bit on opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to product research. So for this product, or for the one product, I found a product being makeup, and now I'm just finding like what market to sell to. You know, should I sell to Asian women that have short lashes? Should I sell to women with dark under eyes that want to cover it up? So I'm kind of just testing products in that niche of makeup, and I'm going to try and find an angle within that niche that's going to work because I already know that the product quality should be good coming from China compared to some other products. And then on the second store, like I told you guys, it's going to be more of just dialing in on an angle that I know has previously worked and serving a new product that I am confident is higher quality. So that's kind of the situation. Just wanted to break that down before we get into metrics here. I wanted to show you guys metrics of both products. So this product is actually the one that I was talking about that's more catered towards PCOS. And again, I'm going to try not to say anything that's going to expose myself too much, but I wanted to give you guys some insight as to how I'm testing this. I've been testing this product for about a week now. So as you see, like down here, this campaign was on December 2nd. So I've been testing this product for about a week. And the first 3 days, so 12/2, 12/3, 12/4, what I did was I just tested three different angles within that PCOS niche. And I'll just put this on maximum so you guys can see kind of what the metrics. So we've spent about $500 on testing this product so far. And I think that's fine. Like another thing is I usually will be a little slower with my tests because I like to find, that perfect I like to create that perfect puzzle before I start scaling. So I've actually been testing this on quite low budgets for about a week. I've spent about $500. So most days I've spent $50. There's been a few days I've spent, I think, around $100. But overall, you can see that the ROAS overall is about a 1.61. So that is slightly profitable, but obviously it's not enough to scale yet. However, our main ad stack does have a 2 ROAS, so we are getting somewhere with this. We're gonna keep testing it, but I'll kind of break a few things down for you guys, just so you can understand my thought process while I'm testing this product. So let's back up a little bit. Like I was saying, we tested three different angles. So usually when I'm testing, that's kind of the approach I'll take to it. I'll test three different angles in the beginning and see if there's one that really pops out. So we spent $50 on this angle, and CPCs were decent, but we didn't make any sales or add to carts. So that was a little concerning. Ended up turning that one off. And then the next day, I tested this second angle, which is the one that we've decided on going with. I spent $72 on this angle. We spent, or the CPCs were pretty solid. We had a 5% CTR, 45 unique clicks with a 4% CTR, and then we had 3 add to carts and 4 sales. So right away, I kind of said, okay, this angle definitely has some more buying intention. And what was really unfortunate about this angle, though, was that one of the ads ended up getting rejected. So this angle is a little bit more risky than the other ones, but obviously it was the one making sales. And the next day, I ended up testing a third angle. Since this one got rejected, I was like, okay, let me test a third angle. I think this one is a little bit less risky. But then the CTR on this one just flopped. I ended up turning it off early just because of how poor the metrics were. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go back to this angle if I want to have some potential with this product. So, again, just to give you guys some insight, that's kind of how I decided on which route to go with this product. Tested those three angles, found the one that was making the most sales. And from there, I've been testing more ads within that angle. And so I tested some more ads like on the 7th, on the 8th, and I've kind of put a few ads that have been performing the best inside their own campaign here. So I think there's about 3 ads in here. We have about a 6% CTR overall, about 70 add to carts, 25 checkouts, 13 purchases. So things are starting to look a little more healthy here. And then one other metric I like to look at is the hook rate and the hold rate. So let me see if I can pull up. Actually, I'll hold off on that. So the hook rate is basically just going to be the 3 second video plays. So whoever, or the percentage of impressions that watch for at least 3 seconds. And I've noticed that like 40 to 50% on the hook rate is solid. That means people are getting hooked into your video. And then the hold rate is going to be the percentage of people who watched past the hook, who watched at least 15 seconds of the video. And so what I've seen is that normally I think 30% is actually a little bit low. And so that's one thing that we'll talk about in a bit is just being able to optimize the videos. But I've seen 40-50% again on the hold rate perform really well for videos. Now, with that being said, let's just take a step back here for a second, kind of talk about the last few days and how the last few days have gone, and what my plan kind of is for this product. So let's back this up. Let's go to where we at here. We are okay. So let's go to Friday. Let's check out Friday. Excuse me. So on Friday we spent $55. Like I said, I've kept it pretty lean just to start off here. We had some really solid CTR. We had 21 add to carts for $2.63 a piece, 11 checkouts, and 5 purchases. And on this day, I was like, man, this is starting to pop off. Um, this is like, this is it. This is the ad. This is the angle that's going to be popping off. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start scaling this. Obviously, like these metrics all around look really healthy. Healthy CPCs, CTR, add to carts, checkouts, and purchases. And I was like, man, like that ROAS is looking healthy. I'm going to start scaling this up. So the next day, on the 7th, on Saturday, I spent around $100. And as you guys can see here, CPCs were still pretty healthy. We were also testing a new batch of ads that performed decently, but the metrics were nowhere near the previous day. So I was like, okay, a few things here. The cost per add to cart was obviously way higher, and that led to the cost per purchase also being way higher. So we ended off this day being maybe around break even. Maybe we lost a little bit of money. And I was like, okay, I'll give it one more day to spend. Let's just see how it performs. So we move into Sunday here. Spent another $100. Again, CPCs were looking healthy at 50 cents. We did have this campaign that wasn't performing too well. This was another batch of test ads. Um, and this day, the cost per add to cart was really healthy, but the cost per purchase was really high. So we didn't convert as many add to carts as we needed to be profitable. And so basically, this takes us into Monday, where I had to make a decision about how I want to proceed with this product because obviously, we have some healthy metrics overall. The CPCs yesterday were extremely healthy. I mean, cost per add to cart was still really healthy. We just were not converting. So, one thing that I will say, and I see this happen a lot when testing products, I see a lot of not only beginners, but this just happens to most people. And it's not necessarily anything that anyone's doing wrong. It's just when you start scaling that budget up, what you're going to notice is, well, you're not really going to notice it, but basically how it's going to work is when you're first starting to sell a product, two things. One, you're going to a bit of a warmer audience, more bottom of funnel type customers. So Meta is going to be able to get you to customers that are ready to buy a little bit easier on that lower budget. And then once you start increasing that budget, you may notice that some parts of your funnel start to leak out. You got this bucket with water in it, if you want to think about it like that. And as you dump more water into it, meaning you dump more ad spend like into your ads, you are going to be able to see more clearly which holes water is leaking out of. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's kind of how I see it. And so basically over these last couple days, I noticed that okay, when I increase my budget, things become a little bit less consistent. And so I had to like basically what I have to figure out is this because my offer is not consistent enough? Is this because the angle maybe doesn't have enough people with that specific problem that are going to be buying? Or maybe my ad just isn't scalable. So this is kind of when I decided that like for this week, at least the beginning of the week, I was going to dial back a bit. and try and figure out what the problem might be, because essentially you're not going to be able to figure that problem out without testing. Like I can sit here and make assumptions like, oh, I think it's because my angle, or I think it's because my offer, or whatever. But really, you're not going to be able to figure it out until you start testing a few different things. Like we can make some theories, and my theory was that either my ad wasn't scalable, that my angle wasn't scalable, or that my offer wasn't scalable. So one of those three things are what I assumed was most likely the issue. And so for today, I decided to scale it back a bit and and test a new offer. So today, you can see. Let me just refresh really quick. So today we've spent $24 so far. I backed it up to a $50 budget, and CPCs are still looking healthy. We've got again a pretty healthy add to cart, and actually I've made a third sale. So far on this lower budget with this new offer, we're getting solid buying attention. We have three sales on $24, so that's like an $8 cost per purchase, and we've got some pretty good video metrics as well. One thing that's also interesting is that today the campaign is actually spending on a different ad than it normally has. So could that play into it? Yes. I think we'll probably talk about that maybe on Wednesday, because I am still trying to find a consistent video structure for this one as well. But for today, what I'm doing is testing a new offer. We have 9 add to carts and 3 sales so far, so it's looking pretty healthy. But as you guys know, like if you're gonna scale something, you need consistency. So for this week, we are going to be like, testing this new offer. We're going to be trying to find a consistent video structure that's going to get us these good hook rates and hold rates, and something that's really going to speak to the customer and sell to them. So, um, yeah, I mean that's really the situation for this product. This again is the one that I told you was more in regard to PCOS. And I think it's just good insight, because really the testing phase, it's especially on Meta, usually seems to be a little more drawn out, at least for me. And that's just my preferred way of testing. I like to test until I have something so consistent that it's like, it just scales. And like some people like to try and scale before they have all these things super dialed in. But before I scale, I like to have my video structure dialed in. I like to have my offer dialed in. I like to see consistent metrics across the board for at least like 3, 4 days, maybe up to a week. And at that point is when I'll start scaling. So I'm kind of just waiting at this point. I'm going to keep working on some new videos, keep testing new videos while I test this new offer, and just wait for something to present itself as being consistent enough to scale. Right now, we're making sales. We're actually profitable, like I showed you guys. We have about a 2 ROAS overall on our main campaign here. So everything is looking, pretty good overall, but I would like to see it just be a little more consistent, maybe a little bit higher ROAS, closer to like 3 consistently, before we start scaling. So that that is the first store there. And like I said, we're testing 2 different products. So like I said, we're testing 2 different products, and so this is the second product. This is the makeup product that I'm testing. Let's just look at it. We'll look at it overall. I've only been testing this one since I think I've only been testing this one for 3 days. Let's see, did I test anything on the 7th? Wait, let's see if it did. I start this on Friday or Saturday? Okay, I started this on Saturday. So I started this on December 7th. And this one, okay, you guys are gonna think I'm just like, cooking up or something. I got extremely lucky so far with this one. Like, well, not extremely lucky. Like, obviously, the ROAS on the first day was only 1.2. But right off the bat, just with like the first batch of ads I tested, I have a 7% CTR. Well, that's an all. Okay, yeah, 7% CTR, and I made 2 sales on the first day. So I'm like, okay, that's a good start. So I let that campaign run, and then I added another batch on the side. Like I immediately started testing with um, with two campaigns just because I noticed that my CPMs are pretty high on this one. And normally, what that means is that I'm just getting outbid by competitors. So, what I like to do in this situation is start mass testing ads. And normally, once you start mass testing ads, Meta is going to see that you're a more serious advertiser and they're going to start giving you some better metrics. So, already, like you can see on my first ad stack from the first day to the second day, like we had $153 CPMs on the first day, and then the second day we had $100 CPMs, so a little bit better. And as you can see, like I was actually bringing in some pretty good buying intention yesterday. I had 7 sales on this ad stack, and almost a 3 ROAS on that one. Obviously, the second campaign burnt up a little bit of money, ended up killing it, and just let this one run for the rest of the day. But we killed this one about $40. It was just not looking too healthy on the CPC side of things. Only had one added car, so decided to kill it. Now, a few things with this product, and then lastly, we have today, which we've spent $41 so far, and I think we've made one sale, but it hasn't registered yet. So it's looking a little bit slower today, but we have some pretty decent CTR um, on the ads overall. So I'm just gonna break this down a bit and explain like what my thought process is here. So we spent $200 total on this product so far. We've got a 1.3 ROAS, which I think is around break even. So we're gonna have to definitely optimize a few things. But like I said, this one is more in the makeup niche, and like basically what I'm doing is testing batches of ads that have not necessarily different angles, but they're just like different customer avatars, different people talking about different benefits that they received from it, which I guess is kind of an angle in a sense, but more of like a customer avatar because there's only so many angles that I guess you can have with a makeup product. It's more of like a broad product, I guess. It's not super specific. So maybe in some videos I have like moms using it talking about their benefits. Maybe in another video I have younger people using it talking about their benefits. And right now it's still like a rough, broad like sketch of what I'm gonna be dialing into. And so my plan for this one, I've spent $200. I'm starting to get an idea of what videos are going to perform well. Obviously, I have a few in the 7, 8, 9% CTR range. So my plan for that is to start doubling down on the ads or the style of ad that's going to perform well. Probably meaning, what type of customer demographic is in the ad, what are they talking about, and just to give you some insight, like I think it's younger people for this one talking about a specific benefit that they're receiving. And so I'm probably going to start dialing more into that market, that customer avatar, since that CTR is looking the best. And also since we're getting the best buying intention, especially like on this campaign, we have 9 sales on it. Now, one thing I will say is that getting 9 sales is really good on like a test campaign, but that's 9 purchases off of 12 add to carts. And like when I see that, I think, okay, like yes, 9 sales is great, but also how consistent can we convert 3 out of 4 add to carts into a purchase? Probably not that consistently. I usually shoot for 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 add to carts to convert into a purchase. So I kind of look at that and I say, okay, that's really good, but we may also have some work to do on the offer as well. So I'm going to be basically trying to dial in the videos that have the best CTR, trying to extract all that data and implement it into new videos for new tests. And then at the same time, maybe split test a few offers to see, okay, is there anything that either can get me more add to carts or potentially a higher average order value. Like if I had 9 purchases, but they were all like $50, $60, that'd be great. But they're more around like the $30 range. So maybe I test a buy one, get one free. Maybe I test a free gift. Maybe I test different bundles, stuff like that. But either way, I'm going to have a few things to optimize before I can even think about scaling this one. And I think it's like really funny because obviously you guys probably hear all the time like you want a winner to pop right away. You want to like start scaling within 3 days. Normally, I'll just tell you guys straight up, it usually doesn't happen like that for me. I usually will test for 1 to 2 weeks before I start scaling up. Is that a long time? Some people might think so, but I see it as like, okay, if I'm gonna test like a bunch of products, like the time is gonna add up anyway. So I may as well just test one really good, get something consistent that's gonna sell, and then scale it up. And after 1 or 2 weeks, I have a winner that's gonna be extremely consistent, have a system set in place for it, and be able to scale it for hopefully up to that $1 million mark. But that's kind of the situation. So the first product we've been testing for 7 days, spent 500 on it. We're a little bit profitable. This one we've spent 200 on it. Um, and we're around break even with it. So not bad for either product. At this point, I think it's like just up to me to try as many things as possible as far as video structure, as far as offer, um, average order value, upsells, things like that, to be able to optimize these to a point where they can scale. And that's normally my process. Get the initial data, figure out what's working, double down on it, start making changes, start split testing different offers, different ads, things like that. And hopefully, it leads to something being consistently profitable and being able to scale. But this is already almost a 30-minute video, so I'm probably going to end it here. But hopefully, you guys see the vision, you guys see the formula that I'm trying to cook up here. And I will give you guys another update on Wednesday. I'm going to do these Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think we'll have enough content, like enough data to reflect on every few days that we can like have some good updates. Today we kind of just went over metrics. Maybe I'll break down a video structure or something in the next video. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope you guys got some value from this. We're gonna be trying to take one of these to $1 million. So hopefully you guys get some value and stick around for the ride. All right, y'all. Peace.